If you want to give a double check for me.
Let me pull it up. You ever thought about us having VTuber icons that talk to each other on the screen while we're talking?
I can't say that I
I think it
have.
drawn the views.
Would it? That's not
Everyone
been.
loves VTubers.
It's not been played out by now.
No, it's still going strong. Maybe dipped a little bit, but found a nice groove. And you could be anything that you want to be, Sam.
What do you want to be?
I'd be like a talking rat.
I mean, you say that, but one of the YouTubers I watch when she streams, she does sometimes use a rat.
But like one of like those like PS1 like low poly rats.
Oh, okay.
So very low quality. It's like I paid $10 for someone to commission it.
PS1 Hagrid.
Exactly. I want to go for that aesthetic. And I'd like yours just to be a 3D model of your own face, hyper realistic.
No.
You could see every pore.
Why? At that point, just get a camera.
No, it's funnier. Because you'd be talking to a 3D rat.
I had thought about. I need to finish working on the Chibi Robo 3D model. That's been on the back burner for a long time.
That can be your YouTube right there.
Because I was working on rigging it in Blender, and that's almost there for. As far as my understanding goes for how that stuff works.
Yeah, I mean, I know less than you about Blender, so I can't even begin to comment on that.
Well, you got to use like I think it's called like Face Rig or something for doing VTuber stuff. Because you do have to have a camera. It just tracks the movement and matches it to the model.
Exactly. So then we can just be. It's like we'd really be sitting in the same room together.
You say that I can't remember who it was. It was somebody a long time ago when you were still going to school. And she said to me, I was like, "Oh, I thought you drove up there every weekend to record with him in person." And I said, No, I do not."
That would be funny. It's like voice actors that you can tell whether they're recording separately or they're in the same booth together because they play off each other better.
I mean, I feel like we've gotten a lot better about not speaking over one another.
Certainly more than when we initially started.
Yeah,
the long 18-second pauses.
Yeah,
and then we both talk at the same time, anyways.
That was pretty bad. I mean, it goes out the window a little bit whenever we have a guest on, just since I feel like I can read you a little bit through Discord. Like I can tell when you're not paying attention through the pause. The pause sounds different. I don't know why. But with when you throw somebody else into the mix, I'm giving a very clear pause for somebody else to speak, and then just nobody speaks.
It throws off the mojo.
Yeah. I think it is. I can tell when you're listening to the music. I can't hear it, but I'll say something, and then you'll do like a mouse click or something. I'm like, oh, he's scrubbing through the music to listen and see what I was talking about.
That's how I know that I'm not going crazy, or that you're not trying to gaslight me.
Yeah.
You're like, oh man, it's really weird during this Bill Withers that he just had like an 80-second like Scott break, like not Scott, scat breakdown.
Scott
the Woz breakdown. Really ahead of his time.
Yeah. When are we getting the Withers Scatman John collab?
Well, I'm pretty sure they're both dead. So
Scatman John's dead? I know Withers died, but
I mean, I could be wrong about Scatman John. Yeah, he died. Sam, he died 25 years ago.
Oh, he died in 1999. I had no idea.
I mean, I know it feels for you, who was born in the late 30s.
Whoa.
Just yesterday.
Late 1830s. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. That's what I meant, of course.
I guess he was so ahead of his time that I didn't realize.
Scatman John's dead. So he's been dead for most of your adult life. No, all of your adult life.
It's because his last album was released posthumously in 2001.
Oh, oh, and yeah, since that's so much closer than 1999.
Yeah. Listen, with how his music came up, I don't think it's crazy to think that it felt very 2000s. Right?
I do like this one. The last paragraph on his musical career page says that the Japanese superhero Ultraman jumped on the Scatman bandwagon, releasing a single titled Scat Ultraman. It reached number 45 in Switzerland.
Wow.
So international appeal there.
Maybe we'll have to listen to this at some point. One of his albums. He had 5.
Yeah. I mean,
if we're gonna listen to one, it'd probably have to be Scatman's World.
that is the one that made him famous, right?
And plus,
Bop, boop, bop, doo bop.
And plus, Scatman is the most famous one, but Scatman's World, I think, is the better song.
You have discerning scat taste. Well, that's enough scat talk. Let's
I dislike that those share a name. I'll be honest.
Wait, those. I know the music. What's the other one, Sam?
I'll tell you when you're older.
Okay.
You want to get on into it with the album we're actually speaking about this week, not Scatman John.
Let's do it.
Alrighty. Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to the Audio Shop Podcast. This weekend, we listened to Menagerie by Bill Withers. I have been listening to I say a lot, mainly one song from Bill Withers.
You've been listening to a lot of one song.
Let me rephrase. Mainly a lot of 2 songs by Bill Withers. And I figured it was time I dig into some more of his discography. So I started listening to this album and then suggested we do it for the show this week. You have much exposure to Bill Withers Cooper before this, aside from Just the Two of Us?
Honestly, wait, that was Bill Withers?
Mm-hmm. You didn't know that?
No, I didn't. Well, I think you've told me that before. I just didn't remember. Honestly, no. Ain't No Sunshine, obviously.
Yeah.
And, Lovely Day, I've heard before. But beyond that, really surface level knowledge of this guy. So,
which is fair. Showing my hand a little bit. Other than I'm not even a fan of Ain't No Sunshine. Hot take, I know.
I know you've said that before. I don't agree. I like that song.
That's fair. It's a very good song. It's just not my cup of tea.
That's fair.
Because if I'm going to pick a Bill Withers song to listen to, I'm either going to listen to Just the Two of Us or A Lovely Day. So, his famous
How about you tell us a little bit more about this, Mr. William Withers?
Well, it's actually a very interesting story. He was born William Harrison Withers Jr., the youngest of 6 children, which when initially reading the Wikipedia, I read as 16 and thought, holy shit, but no, it's just 6. He was born in the small coal mining town of Slab Fork, West Virginia on July 4th, 1938.
Slab Fork, West Virginia.
Yep. What an American. He was born to a maid and a miner, coal miner, obviously. He developed a stutter as a child and later said he had a hard time fitting in. His parents divorced when he was 3, and then he was raised by his mother's family in Beckley, West Virginia. And then his father died, when he was 13. So, rough childhood. He enlisted in the United States Navy at 17 and served for 9 years. During the time, he became interested in singing and writing songs. He left the Navy in 1965, relocating to Los Angeles in 1967 to start his music career. So his first single was actually released while he was working as a aircraft mechanic, installing toilets into planes.
Sounds like a shitty job.
Yeah. Well, they were fresh toilets, so fresh, non-shitted.
Oh, okay, good.
He worked for several different companies, Douglas Aircraft Corporation, IBM, and Ford. And he refused to quit his aircraft mechanic job after Ain't No Sunshine released because he
Wow.
believed the music business was fickle.
I mean, honestly, kind of not wrong.
Yeah. So he worked for a very long time as an aircraft mechanic, while also releasing songs every once in a while. Which, mad respect, because
Honestly, I mean, this guy obviously grew up in like a pretty rough childhood, so I can kind of respect him. Just being like, hey, you never know, always
yeah,
gonna have a backup plan.
yeah, he didn't want to risk it. He eventually signed with Sussex Records, recorded 2 of his albums, and he said of Sussex, they weren't paying me. He claims to have erased an entire album that he recorded in a fit of rage. I probably could have handled that differently, he said. And due to a legal dispute, he was unable to record for some time after. And then he eventually...
So his decision to keep his second job was completely justified.
Yes. He then signed with Columbia Records, who he also had issues with. He couldn't record for them for a while for some reason, but that caused him to focus on joint projects, which gave us just the 2 of us. So actually, that one kind of worked out in his favor. But Menagerie specifically is his 6th studio album of 8. It was released in 1977, not 97. And it is hailed as one of his more upbeat albums because all the 5 before that were very dark in some ways, such songs as Better Off Dead or, yeah. So he had a rough life. He actually just passed away in 2020 in March.
Wow. He was born in 1938?
Yes.
Hey, that's okay.
Yeah,
that's about what, 80? So
yeah, he passed away March 30th, so right at the start of COVID. So heart issues, it said, but at that time, who knows?
I mean, COVID didn't really uptick until after March.
Well, I was sent home from work.
Wait, why would they lie about him?
Well, no, I'm just saying misattributed.
Is this a big Bill Withers conspiracy?
Well, if you perform, so okay, let me. There was infections happening before March, right?
Oh yeah, that's true.
And it does a whole lot of crazy things. And if you're not expecting to look for it, it could have been a complication that you're like, oh well, it was this, but unknowingly it was also COVID.
Well, possibly, but also could just died from
it also could have
years
just
old.
been that, but it from the Wikipedia, it looks like his family was able to be with him, which was good.
Oh, that's good.
Especially since at that time
life.
everybody was getting kicked out of hospitals. Visitors, that is, not the patients.
I was about to say, I hope. I don't know how to... Hey, sorry, guys. We got to close up shop.
No.
Just dump
Visitors.
Man, that's dark.
But yeah, so he had a very aircraft mechanic turned multi-Grammy winning musician.
Oh, that's gotta give him points for having an interesting life.
Yeah. So let's
You wanna
get into it with the first track then.
Yeah, track number 1, "Lovely Day." Song I'm sure you're familiar with, Sam.
This is this is what I've been starting my day with for like the past month.
Oh man, I can just see Sleepy Sam just like kind of bobbing his head, putting himself into a good mood with this song.
Mm-hmm. It really does lift your mood. It's got that nice soft funk intro with the light instrumentation. It really heavily focuses on his vocals, but the backing isn't neglected.
Yeah, I mean, the album has a pretty consistent instrumentation, which obviously kind of gets established on the first song on the album with "Lovely Day," where the actual instrumentation has that strong bass line, strings, light synth, and brass. That's gonna be, and like you said, this is I guess maybe a happier album where it kind of keeps a more mellow, upbeat vibe.
Yes. Yeah, much more upbeat than some of his previous, and it's very repetitive, but it's so feel good.
Yes, I mean the chorus is just him saying "Lovely Day" with a very long sustained note behind it.
Yes, well, you're jumping the gun a bit there. You've got the 2 normal ones, and then the third one is when he kicks it up to the higher octave and then sustains it for twice as long.
It's true. He does sustain that note to a funny degree, honestly.
It's hard to do. It's a fun song to sing with, but man, you got to really take a deep breath for that.
Oh no, I'm not saying it's not impressive. It's just you don't see that on most songs, really.
No.
Pop songs of someone just sustaining a note throughout the entire chorus in the background.
I mean, the chorus is "Lovely Day" being repeated over and over again.
Oh yeah, it's not complex, but it is nice. It kind of it already has kind of that chill, mellow vibe to it that it kind of gets you happy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the whole song builds to that moment, and it really just, his voice is so beautiful. It really puts you in a good mood. And I'd say the focus here is well deserved.
Oh yeah, Bill Withers has a good voice.
No one's ever said that before.
What, Bill Withers?
No, that he has a lovely voice.
I like his voice.
It's a joke. I'm joking with you.
His
voice is one of the reasons he got so famous.
I thought you were legitimately. I was surprised. I'm like, wow, he doesn't like Bill Withers' voice. That's like
no.
The song is him sustaining a note for like 30 seconds. Okay, I was about to be very surprised.
He's got such a rich baritone.
Sam, after that head injury, I can't detect sarcasm.
Well, after my head injury, I can't give it. Sarcasm, that is, not a...
Oh, okay, good.
Anyway, jumping to track 2, if you're ready.
Yeah, track number 2, I Want to Spend the Night. Day and night.
Yes. Also, I was thinking of this while listening earlier in the week. Very, very fitting that this is Valentine's Day week and we're doing this album.
It's a pretty romantic album.
Yes.
So I guess romantic kind of in that kind of generic 70s way. I guess really any pop like romance song.
No. That's so cheap. This one's so relaxing. It's got the beautiful acoustic guitar, grand piano, strings, and not
instrumentation wise, but like lyric wise, right?
Oh yeah, okay. Lyrically,
like, I want to spend the night with you.
But performance wise, it elevates it because I can totally picture the music video for this is him lounging on a heart-shaped bed in a robe, holding a single rose.
Tim, are you imagining a naked Bill Withers?
I didn't say he was naked. I just said he was in a robe.
But is he naked under the robe?
Yes.
Well, it is a nice song. It's almost got a, and maybe just because I've been listening to a lot of Joe Beam, but it's got a bit of a bossa nova vibe on it as well.
I think you're inventing that. I'll be honest, but
like I've been just consuming Carlos Joe Beam music like this entire week, so let me have this. This is light bossa nova.
Sure, I'll give. I've made more wild claims than that. I personally feel the cowbell does a lot of heavy lifting in this one with the metronome-like beats that it gives.
It's a mellow cowbell. There's certainly been more aggressive cowbell in our time.
Mm-hmm. But it's just a fun song.
It is a fun song.
Very romantic as well. Jump to track 3 if you're ready.
Track number 3, Lovely Night for Dancing, another night song.
Mm-hmm. Not Lovely Day, Lovely Night.
Yes, this is for dancing. And this one starts off with quite the funk, if I do say so.
A very superstitious synthesizer, I thought.
Oh, okay. Like the song Superstition.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not a... It's got a little bit of maybe Stevie DNA in it, very lightly.
It's been a while since I listened to that song, but the synth feels spot on.
Maybe this one's like a little fartier.
Yeah, okay, I'll give you that.
But I mean, I don't think Bill Withers is quite a Stevie Wonder. Have we reviewed a Stevie Wonder album?
We have not.
Oh, we should do that. But
we should.
Sorry, I'm getting distracted here. Yeah, kind of has a more funky bass and synth intro before the more sentimental violins kind of come in backing Bill here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get some nice backing vocals from a female artist who is uncredited. At least not in the thing, and I didn't look it up. I should have, but she had some nice depth to an otherwise kind of simplish song.
It's always nice whenever an artist has kind of a guest vocalist on here.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they're not always credited, or just it's not like the feature isn't like the focus, right? It's just kind of like some additional seasoning. I guess you really don't see that too much in pop songs anymore, right? Because if there's another vocalist, it's usually a feature.
Yeah, you're right.
I can't really think of many that's like there's another vocalist, but it's just like part of the band or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Then again, I don't listen to a ton of modern music, so I'm not sure if I'm one to to correct you on that or not.
You're not keeping up with the Billboard?
I really am not. Not as much as...
Turn on your radio every morning, you adjust the knobs to tune into the latest channel?
I usually end up just listening to NPR.
Yeah, well, the thinking man's music.
They do play classical midday here, which is nice.
Ah, human music. Yeah, no, I mean, this has a very... it's a... it's the longest song of the album.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think it earns it.
No, it really doesn't. There's so much repetition in the back half of the song. It does not need to be 5 minutes. It felt dragged out for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, it's got like a little vocal break, but then it also repeats that. It's basically just the same song twice.
Yeah.
This could have been a 3-minute song. It's still been a little long. Quite honestly.
Yeah. It goes on. It's a bit too long in the tooth.
So I'm not sure. I'm not quite sure why this is the one he decided to make a long one.
I do not know.
But, you know, I guess to each their own.
Jump into track 4 if you're ready then, Coop.
Yes. Track number 4, Then You Smile at Me.
If I can type.
Has a little more of a mellow start before going into kind of, I guess, a funkier, like, lyric.
Yeah, the start of this one, he just sounds bored with his vocals. It doesn't have the heart, you know?
Yeah, it's a little more mellow. I wouldn't say lack of heart, personally, but it's a little more subdued.
He doesn't have that oomph behind it. I don't know what it is. Like, he delivers the line, earth-shaking love. You think he'd have a little bit more gusto when he says that.
I mean, it's not like he... Yeah, I guess so. The rest of the album definitely has a little more gusto than what this song has.
Yeah.
But I kind of like it's like, you know, it's a vocal change up. I can respect.
I don't think it fits. It fits better once you get to like the minute 45 mark. That singing, I feel like that should be closer to the bass level.
Yeah, I mean, once he gets to like the 2-minute part vocally, it's he starts to pop off a little bit more. I mean, Bill seems like a guy who generally puts a lot of his heart to his singing.
Yeah.
So I guess maybe I can see where areas where he's pulled back a little bit can be, not quite leading into his strengths.
Yeah, and it was comparing, because I had been listening to this before we just selected it to listen to, but comparing it to later songs even, this is the only spot where he has that subdued vocals that just kind of, it just feels bored. I don't know. You know, he throws a little bit of harp in there every once in a while, and the bass is mixed just as high as the vocals, which I think doesn't help the energy either. But I don't know. It just he feels bored for half of this.
Well, at least it doesn't have a weird ending, right?
Yeah. Yeah. No. There's the weird spitting noise and mouth trumpet, and there's sped up vocals at the end. It was
got like chipmunk vocals.
It was really weird.
I mean, it's weird, but I kind of like it. It's at least it's just kind of like a little interesting. I'm assuming this is like into side A or something, or side 1.
Yeah, I think it would have been, especially with the 5-minute "Lovely Night for Dancing." But yeah, he's like making the patooey noise and doing mouth trumpet.
He's doing a literal patooey.
Yeah. It's very weird, and then it's sped up. I don't know. It was odd, but it wasn't bad, if that makes sense.
No, I mean, I like it. I'd rather have an artist kind of shoot for the fences and maybe not 100% work
Mm-hmm.
versus, 100% sticky to the book,
Yeah, no, I agree. Jumping to track 5, if you're ready, Coop.
Yeah, track number 5, She Wanted To, parentheses, Get On Down. Which, I mean, come on, this is disco.
Okay, fine. I'll give it to you.
It's got the driving drum beat, very danceable. It's even got like those disco strings in the back.
I thought it was a really funky intro.
Something can be funky disco.
Yeah, I know.
In fact, I say disco is more funky than not.
I'm just trying to be contrarian.
Contrarian?
Contrarian?
I thought you were a Democrat. Ooch.
Hardy har.
Yeah. That's why people come here for our political humor.
Yeah. Biting commentary.
Biting commentary.
But this one leans a bit too much into the chorus, I think. It's mostly chorus for quite a lot of the song.
I mean, I guess that's kind of part of the dancingness of it. Right?
Yeah.
It kind of has the chorus is supposed to be a little, trance-like. And it does do a fun little key change at like the 2-minute mark.
Yeah, in the middle of the whole chorus section, and then it continues to do the chorus continuously after that. I think it needed to be a bit shorter. The chorus section to close out the song was over half the song.
It's a 3-minute song, so I didn't mind it too much.
I don't know. It just got on my nerves for some reason. I'm not sure why.
Because you just can't get down, can you,
Sam? I can't. Not after the accident.
The head injury that made you no longer dance. We had a lot of head injuries that slowly chipped away at our capabilities.
Probably should get that checked out, huh?
Yeah. All your other motor skills are fine. It's just dancing.
Yep. Yeah. Yeah, my funnily enough, I can still interpretive dance, but any other kind of dancing, can't do it.
Oh, do you want to move on to track number 6 then?
Yes, track 6.
It Ain't Because of Me, Baby. Which definitely starts with most of these songs do with a strong funk and synth sound.
Yes.
Yeah. He does not, for the most part, stray too far from his central, groove here.
No, he's fairly consistent. We get a nice. I like what they did here with the. He's kind of duetting with himself. I thought it might be 2 separate takes, but I think it might just be doubling up and slight offset because they're too similar to be separate takes. Of him singing, it just gives a nice little effect that spices things up a little bit.
To a nice pairing. Mm-hmm. And of course the brass and strings throughout the song are they're pretty heat as well, not gonna lie.
Yes. Yeah, I mean this one's more of an instrumentally focused song for like the back 3/4 of it, I'd say.
I think it's pretty nice. I mean obviously Bill's vocals are the main focus of most of the songs, but I can respect when a song lets itself breathe.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get into a nice funk groove there. It does loop quite a bit, I will say, but it's so dense, there's so much going on that there's always something new to catch your attention.
It's like poetry, huh? It rhymes.
It rhymes.
Well, then we'll go on to track number 7 then.
Yes, track 7.
Tender Things. Which maybe starts even more mellow than the rest of the album.
Yes, I was...
I don't know, it's like flute? Or I guess maybe synth?
I was more focused on those trumpets. They really gave me a Saturday in the Park by Chicago vibe for some reason.
Maybe it's like this very light muted brass in the background.
Yeah.
Anytime you have kind of muted brass, you think of Chicago.
It's also a very similar key, I think. Similar notes being hit. There's There's later on. There's something that is even more distinct. But for that, I was like, I kind of am getting similar feel.
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's got it's very easy listening, but it's got that sentimentality to it
Mm-hmm.
that I think Bill is pretty good at.
And we get a little bit of a nice oboe in the background there. Fits very well with the vibe of the song.
It even has a extended little hum break at the 2:30 mark.
Mm-hmm.
And I think more songs need a hum break, or just kind of happily humming to himself.
Yes, I am a big fan of this one. It's nice to just have a bit of a slower jam. Not that the others have been like super fast, but this is kind of a sinks that relaxing feeling into you, and it's backed up by Bill's powerful vocals, especially during the second half of the track.
Yeah, I just like it's just a soft groove.
Yeah,
you can kind of relax into it like a comfy armchair.
Yeah, you get you nice and relaxed, and then you hit track 8 if you're
Track
ready.
number 8, yes, Wintertime.
I was not ready.
Starts off with some serious synth energy.
Yes, it pierces right through your soul. I was sitting back in my chair, I was like, "Ooh, this is nice," nice warm song, and then bam.
Which I kind of love. It's just like it's I mean it's not like instrumentally too out there for this album. It's just a lot more in your face than what Tender Things is.
Yeah,
it kind of wakes you up.
Yeah, it really comes out of left field. And I couldn't tell listening further on. That was either a synth or there's also a really synthy filter on the guitar.
What, that like 130 moment?
Yeah. Yeah, and there's several different synth settings as well. So there's a lot going on here, and it's all quite loud.
But I quite like it. I mean, it's got, like you said, that kind of synthy warble thing. Obviously, a little more to your fake.
Mm-hmm.
It's got a little more of a funk, vocal delivery. There's rhythmic grunting at the end that that sort of works.
Yeah, it was it was out of the ordinary. And then we get the midpoint key change again, of course, which actually used to happen a lot more often. You don't really get that anymore. I think I saw a graph.
I wonder why that went away.
It's complicated to do. It requires a little extra thought being put in.
I can't imagine for experienced music producers it's that much harder to do.
No, but if there is a chart, if you look like I think they use the Billboard Hot 100 or something, but the number of key changes in a song as time goes on, it's down to 0 now. Key changes don't usually happen, which is weird because it's that's a pretty standard feature,
Maybe just a stylistic thing of not being things come and go out of vogue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, just key changes aren't popular right now for some reason.
Living on a prayer. Flew too close to the sun.
Yeah.
Maybe although paid the price.
There was the one we listened to last week which had like 7 or 8 key changes after every bar. I was a fan of that.
Let's bring back the hyper key change.
Yes, let's go from 0 to like 50 in a single song. But yeah. I mean, this was the one. I swear I hear the Golden Girls theme melody in there, specifically the "Thank You for Being a Friend" part in the synth line. I don't think I've
ever seen a single episode of the Golden Girls.
I haven't either, but Amy's a big fan of it, so she was listening to the theme this weekend quite a bit, and I heard it in there. It's in there somewhere.
The Golden Girls and the Gossip Girls the same thing?
No.
Okay.
It is not the same thing.
Let's look. I can't comment on the Golden Girls, but I can say that I do like the piano on this song.
Yeah. No, it's a very, very strong, very in your face song, which isn't a bad thing. But spacing is a little odd between this and track number 9.
Yeah, Let Me Be the One You Need.
Yes. Again, another slow one, which makes the placing of Wintertime feel all the more odd.
I still like Wintertime. I'm going to stand by it.
Yeah, no, it's a good song. It's just, whew, I wasn't ready for it.
And you really were going to sleep, weren't you? It
Yeah.
scared you. You're like grandpa waking up in his his armchair.
Yep. Charlie's at the door.
In line. It's okay, grandpa. Yeah, no, this one has a really great vocal performance. Probably the best on the album, honestly.
Yeah. His vocal strength in this one is amazing. Those held notes really show it off.
And obviously, kind of, like I said, Bill's kind of got a flair for the dramatic with his vocal deliveries. So I think, when he leads into it, he does it well.
Yes. Yeah, it is great. And this one, for me, kind of gave the feeling of like a slow jam on the stage at the end of the night.
Kind of a little sultry.
Yeah.
A little smoky.
I wish it hadn't faded, though. I kind of wish there had been a definitive end. The fade doesn't do it for me.
I wouldn't say that's uncommon as well. As well.
Yeah, I know it's not uncommon. It's just, I don't know. It feels like it detracts from the finale.
You were hoping it ended with a patooey, didn't you?
Yep. That's what I was hoping for.
Every album should end with the lead singer switching to like a thick British accent and going, "All right, go, we out here," and then spitting on the ground.
Yep, that's my my perfect album end.
That's your genie wish right there. They say, "I don't need the other two." He's like, "What? Seriously?"
Actually, you know what? That one's on me. I like that. But that's the album.
That is the full album.
So, Cooper, what would you say your favorite... Well, let's do least favorite first. What would you say your least favorite track was?
It was probably Lovely Night for Dancing.
Yeah.
Because it was just very, very long when it didn't need to be. If you cut it down by if you cut it literally in 50%, it'd just be like a okay song, but they really stretched out an okay song into a bad song. All right. Too much butter over too little bread.
Okay, Bilbo.
That's for you Tolkien readers out there.
And you flipped it. It's too little butter over too much bread.
Isn't that what I said?
No, you said too much butter over too little bread.
Oh. It's like too much bread. Just in general, right? Your mouth gets too dry.
Yeah.
And the waiter won't come by to refill your drink.
Personally,
what about you, Sam?
For me, I think it's She Wanted to Get On Down. I don't know. It just... That one felt longer to me than Lovely Night for Dancing. I don't know if it's justified, but I'm sticking to it. That's my story.
You're the reason disco died, Sam.
No, please.
It was you.
I love the Bee Gees. But what about your favorite? Which is your favorite?
I mean, Lovely Day is. But I'll also give a shout out to Wintertime.
Yeah.
I just like how
is mine as well.
Kind of in your face it is, and like just kind of jumps in and out. I'm sure Lovely Day is yours as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's too good. And I've also been listening to it on loop for the past month, so it'd become surprising if it wasn't.
You're like, it's all right.
I could take it or leave it.
Just imagining you like the Patrick Bateman face of just like no emotion, just listening to the song over and over again.
Just driving into work.
Just a glassy-eyed look. I mean, we're at the end of the album then, so that means we're gonna have to rate it.
Yep, we gotta rate it.
So, Sam, what is our rating system?
So here at Audio Shop Podcast, we have a car-themed podcast because it's actually Cooper and I's joint goal to rid the world of cars. We're actually being paid by Big Train to to give a bad name to cars to try and popularize the train. Not just because cars are polluting and all that.
No, we're doing this for completely selfish reasons.
Yes, yeah,
we sold out.
We sold out. And Big Train doesn't exactly give a lot of money either. But we figured if we made a shitty podcast about music themed around cars, that more people would abandon their cars. Hasn't really worked out so far. But we're going to keep trying. We're nearly 5 years in. We're going to keep trying.
The train's coming back, baby.
But we have the tip top, the cream of the crop, which is Showroom, 5 out of 5, best of the best. Got to listen to it. And then we have Scrapyard, ooh, yuck, get away from me, bottom of the barrel. I probably lost some years of my life listening to this. And then High or Low, in between, whatever we're feeling for that day. So, Cooper, what would you say Menagerie by Bill Withers gets in your book today?
A little back and forth between like a high like new and a high fixer-upper and a low like new. But I think I kind of landed on low like new. I think there's a little bit of a dip in the middle of the album.
Mm-hmm.
But the last 3 songs and first few songs on this album are really good, and I like them.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe a little derivative, a little boring in the middle there. And Bill obviously sticks to a pretty consistent sound throughout the album. But it's just a feel good album.
Yeah.
That's got good vocal deliveries. Good instrumentation. It's not revolutionary in any way, but it's a pleasant listen.
Mm-hmm.
Enough that I think I could recommend it with a very low like new. What about you, Sam?
I would agree. And I would add the caveat that maybe, if you're not feeling a song, it's okay to skip it. That's fine.
This is a very find the songs you like and skip the rest.
Yeah, not quite an album experience going on here, but overall, quite good.
So it's I can listening to some see I can see why Bill's maybe known for a couple hits, but maybe not for full albums, right?
Yeah.
And it's you gotta listen to this Bill Withers album. It's more Bill Withers songs. So
yeah,
maybe more of a strength in singles.
I would agree with that. It's listen to his hits, and then if you're wanting to dig into some of his other stuff, go for it. But otherwise, you can leave it. But that's the album. That's what we've been listening to this week. That's what we listened to this week. Now, what else we've been listening to this week with the spare tire? Roll on over to that. So, Cooper, you said you've just been listening to a bunch more bossa nova.
Man, I've just been listening. Not even bossa nova, just Joe Beam. I haven't been listening to the genre. I've been listening to the man. And quite frankly, he's got some good stuff.
Yeah.
His album specifically, I'd like to give a call out for is his. Let's see if I can find it here. Is his 1996 album, I think. 1995 album, Antonio Brasileiro, 94. Which was one of the last albums he put out before he died, and it's excellent. Might be my favorite album of his, honestly. We're saying something because he's it's a very late career Joe Beam, right?
Mm-hmm.
He had nothing to prove. He wrote "Girl from Ipanema" 40 years before this album came out, but it's still excellent. Just a very delicious listen. And I have to start listening to something else besides Joe Beam because it's just like a vortex that I just keep getting pulled into because he's so easy to listen to.
Need a bit of a shake-up.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe just something besides bossa nova.
Yeah.
What about you, Sam?
I've been listening to quite a bit of new stuff.
Oh, okay.
I listened through... Well, first I'll go through the classics. I listened to some Armchair Theater by Jeff Lynne. I listened to some Plastic Beach. I listened through the Tron Legacy soundtrack as I was working this week. I found this artist called Gum.
Gum.
Yes.
Like GUM?
Yes. And listened through most of their album Glamorous Damage. They've got a very interesting sound. I listened through Crab and Honey from Fever the Ghost.
That's a good album.
which I hadn't. Album strong EP.
I guess that's the one with like 3 songs, right? They have like all
5
weird
songs,
names.
but that's the one with Source on it.
Yeah, great song.
So that was 18 minutes. I listened to that, and then I discovered this artist called Franco Faro, and
Okay.
I listened to his album Friscalitata.
Okay.
And he plays the recorder, and he plays traditional, I think it's Spanish music. He doesn't have a Wikipedia page. I can't find anything out about this man, but it is something else. It's got jaw harp in it. It's got bass. It's got recorder. And it prompted me to make a whole brand new playlist, Cooper, which I'm going to be sending to you after we finish here.
Well, okay, exciting.
It's I want you to look up right now Zufolo Imposito.
Okay, I don't know how to spell that.
Zufolo space Impazzito by Franco Faro. And I want I want you to just give that a play, and let me know. And sorry if you heard a pop up. That was I got a chief in Trumps, so I have that running in the background while we're doing this.
Faro. Okay, there we go. The first one that came up there was folksy Russian music.
I think
that didn't sound like
maybe it is Russian. I'm not. It does sound a bit Russian.
Oh my. Okay, this is definitely. You say Spanish?
It might be Russian.
I mean, wow, this is.
Imagine a whole album of that.
I would prefer not to.
So I listened to the whole 35 minutes album of that. That's the best song on there. I'll tell you that.
That sounds exhausting. This is like folksy, like Eastern European music.
Yeah.
Not that that's inherently bad. It's just very. It's got yodel vibes.
Yes, it does. It very much does. Sadly that song doesn't have any jaw harp on it, but some of the other ones do.
Sam tries to find new music they enjoy that isn't trash. Impossible challenge. No, I'm joking, but not really. But
I mean, you say that here. I might as well get your reaction to my new playlist on video. If it'll pull up. Wow, it is not responding. Come on.
I'll give you this, Sam. Anytime you've suggested me music, it's. I know I'm in for some sort of treat. Whether it's like, wow, this is actually really good, or this is maybe the most garbage thing I've ever heard. Right? It keeps me on my toes.
No in between. It's either the best thing you've ever heard or the worst thing you've ever heard. Well, get ready, Cooper, because I've got a playlist here for you that I built over the weekend, and it's you can see just popping up in Discord the title and what songs are on it.
Starts with Spanish Flea.
It's called Goofy Mode. Spanish Flea, then Zufolo Imposito, and then Rockstar 21. You know, that classic auctioneer over vaporwave.
Well, you can you? Goodness, yeah, it's got Pierre, of course. The first Moog quartet.
Yes, Moog being one of the first synthesizers ever made.
Here, if you give me access to this, I'll add my own goofy music to this.
Maybe we can make a joint one, but I kind of want to keep.
Oh,
this,
you want this one to be you want this one to be untainted by outside hands.
Just tainted with my own hands.
Yeah, that's what it says.
This is what I'm thinking. But yeah, got to start it with Spanish Flea. Spanish Flea holds a very special place in my heart. That's my go fast music.
Oh God, you exercise to this, don't you?
No, I don't. No. But like, I mean, you heard over New Year's when I was showering, I had Spanish Flea on loop.
Yeah, I did. It was terrifying. It's like looking in the eye of the abyss. I'm like, oh man, this man lives like this. It's like, no, this isn't as a joke. This
It's
isn't
not
like
a joke.
funny.
That's the concern. I unironically love this playlist. That's the worst part. I just tried to find the most offensive things that I enjoy and put it into a playlist.
That is goofy mode.
Originally, it was titled "Play This to Lose Your Friends," but I was like, you know what? It's goofy mode. That's what this is. So.
Yeah, I feel like you know how like several hundred years ago, like people didn't know what like schizophrenia was or like how to diagnose mental illness, so they just couldn't explain it, right? It was like spirits or something.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what like your music taste is. Like a couple hundred years from now, we'll have some sort of like clinical like name for this, but right now it's just inexplicable.
There's very clearly something wrong with me, but science hasn't determined what it is yet.
We just don't have the science for it yet.
Which is, I mean, I kind of like being here because it's, if people make fun of like, oh man, you don't like that, you've got bad taste in music. It's like, yeah, I do. I know I do. I have terrible taste in music.
No one can take away what you already know.
No, I hold that truth.
Goodness.
But yeah, I give it a listen when you get a chance. It's a fun playlist. Maybe put it on the car next time you're with your brother or something. I'm sure he'd appreciate this.
Yeah, this sounds like some first date material. I'm gonna put it on and then auto connect to my car and I'll be like, no. Just pressing buttons, getting louder.
Hey.
Spanish Flea cranks up.
Hey baby, you want to listen to some music? You get the candles lit and then Rockstar 21 comes on.
Oh boy, that is goofy.
Anyway, yeah, I've had a fun musical week. I don't know, something on it was either Wednesday or Thursday clicked, and then I listened. I just started trawling through Spotify, listening to new things. I don't know what happened. It was just like I need something, and I just went listening.
I like. I will give Spotify. I know that they've got some pretty crappy business practices when it comes to actually paying artists, but I will say that their like random recommendation feature is it's a little slept on in terms of just unearthing just weird shit, which I can appreciate. Like I was listening to some music while working, and I just let it was kind of go into auto shuffle, and the song came up. It was a extremely funky bass heavy song about a guy singing about how he's big, like he's literally Bigfoot in the song. Talking about how, he's climbed up mountains and, now I'm the abominable snowman, or I'm lost in the forest and now I'm a Sasquatch. I'm like, man, this is like the ocean, right? It's all under the surface.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start diving, you realize how deep it goes.
And the build a playlist recommended thing is pretty good too, because it recommended popcorn based on what I put into it.
That's how you know.
So, but anyway, that's the show for this week. That's what we've been listening to. If you've liked this for some reason and you want to listen to more on Twitch, scroll down. There's a picture of Jeff Lynne. He's the guy with the aviators and the big puffy hair. That'll take you to YouTube, where almost all the past episodes are. And on YouTube, if you want to listen to us live, scroll down the description. Link to the Twitch, where we're usually live 8 p.m. Eastern on Sundays. However, next week, I'm going to be busy, so we won't be able to. But how can people hear about us, Cooper, now that we've left... we finally left Twitter because it's going down the shitter.
Well, despite Twitter still being in our bio.
Oh, I'll fix that.
You can find us at Blue Sky, at Audio Shop Pod, that's POD, where we'll let you know what album we're listening to and when we're going to review it.
Yeah.
Instead, typically Sundays at 8 p.m., but we'll let you know what weeks we're on, what weeks we're off.
And if you haven't heard, Blue Sky's, if you go to it, it's literally just Twitter again. But
it looks exactly like
run by the guy who originally made Twitter, and not a capitalist that is increasingly fascist. So
hey, Sam, he's the capo-fascist.
I don't even think he gets that title. He's just a whiny piss baby is what he is. Anyway, yeah, thanks. I'll go update the descriptions. I forgot about that. I'll do that here now. But anyway, thank you all so much for listening, and we will see you next time.
See you later, shoppies.
See ya.